Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So today, let's talk about what's going on in the US and why a massive move for Bitcoin is coming. That's right. So let's talk about these things and more, and whatever else is going on. Let's do it. Welcome, guys. We're sitting above $60,000. That's pretty good. 60,600. Last night, I don't know if you guys were paying attention, Bitcoin all of a sudden just shot up to like 61 something, 61.4 for whatever reason, right? But we're still sitting at a nice level above $60,000, still going sideways, still waiting to break above 63.7, which could come at any time, especially with this massive move on the horizon. So the US market is starting out a little bit in the red, just a little bit. Okay, you can see Lowe's is cutting full year outlook as it expects weaker home improvement sales. Well, yeah, that's because the economy is slowing down, right? That makes sense. But all eyes from Wall Street are watching Powell right now. They want to see what he says this Friday. And tomorrow the Fed minutes comes out. So that's a big deal. You got the FOMC minutes, and then you got jobless claims on Thursday. Probably not going to be good. Existing home sales, new home sales, right? We have a few data that will be coming out today. This week. And we'll see how Wall Street reacts based on the numbers, right? But the big deal for this week is this guy right here when he talks and gives his speech at Jackson Hole on Friday, and that's when people really speculate on the 50 basis point cut that's coming next month. All right, so we're leading off with that, but how does this relate to Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is ready for a massive move or a breakout, quite simply because the forced selling is over. You know, one of the Van Eyck guys, analysts, said this yesterday too. There are a lot of indicators that show that the forced selling from the miners, because they had to, and also from the Department of Justice and others, they may be done. They may be done. And if we don't have that sell pressure, well, Bitcoin is ready to go higher, right? And also, something else that relates is like everything I've been talking about from a macro perspective, what's happening in the US and around the world, right? The global liquidity index is also going up, which means liquidity for the first time in years is starting to tick upwards. And if you see kind of like the cycle of global liquidity, they happen to like correlate with Bitcoin's movement too. Is it coincidence? A lot of it, yeah. A lot of it has to do with elections, because every single time we have a halving event that happens to fall on election year. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff, right? It could be a coincidence, maybe not, but we are seeing the global liquidity go upwards now, starting to tick up. And when the money starts flowing, guess what? It helps investments and assets like Bitcoin, right? So that's another reason why we are ready for that next big move. And I just got done talking about the miners capitulating, right? Here's the hash ribbons metric, which does measure when miners are fully done with their selling and when a turnaround is about to come. And, we just got done through. We just got done through showing that situation, right? So that is also very positive as well. And if you're paying attention, the difficulty of mining Bitcoin right now is basically all-time high. We took a little dip So you know that capitulation stage, if you look from about the May time frame to now, you can see the hash rate actually dipped down a little bit, right? Sideways and dipped down a little bit. And now we have moved right back up, right? Again, kind of signaling that the selling is over. Those smaller miners that couldn't survive, they are gone. Now the big boys, the bigger miners are taking over, and they are growing their stockpile of Bitcoin miners, which is good, which is good. It helps secure the network even more, right? So these are fantastic things. And of course, Mr. Saylor here has done the math, and his math indicates that Bitcoin is going up forever. That's a pretty good picture, if you ask me. AI is getting so scary. In a couple of years, we will not be able to tell what's a real photo, what's a real video versus a fake one, because it is getting scary how good they're starting to look. And you know, people have been checking the math, and the math checks out. If you understand what Bitcoin is about, what it represents, and if you start learning about how distrusting governments are, then you'll know that Bitcoin will literally go up forever. Okay, and you know, he's been a man of his word, Michael Saylor. He's been DCAing since the very beginning, well, not the very beginning, but since 2020, right? He's a latecomer. I mean, there's people that's been in this space much longer than Saylor, but does not matter. He's been proving that DCA works, especially on a grander scale, even when you have billions, tens of billions on the line. It does not matter. He will continue to DCA, 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 right? All time, 64%. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, and then it's not just him. Others like Metaplanet are following too, even though on a much, much smaller scale. You know, this is measured in yen, but still, they're putting, you know, tens of millions into Bitcoin. Not billions, but still, you know, it's an example, right? It's like a playbook for others to follow. So Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy have done that, and others are paying attention and they're copying, which is fantastic. Fantastic indeed. What else is going on? Let's look at ETF inflows. This is also another measurement of a major move, because you could see that this one entity, BlackRock, continues to load up more and more and more. And yesterday was an absolute massive loading day. $92.7 million went into BlackRock's IBIT fund. And you could see yesterday pretty much nothing from everyone else. Fidelity had about 4 million. ARK lost 26 million. And then I don't know who lost here, 8 million. Grayscale actually didn't sell yesterday for some reason. That doesn't seem right. Overall, we had a net inflow of 62 million, but it's all from BlackRock. Okay, look, I mean, I've said this enough. BlackRock will continue to take more and more and more and more Bitcoin out of circulation. That's good short term, horrible long term, but short term, Larry Fink is like, give me all the Bitcoin. He will just continue to keep buying and buying and buying. No outflows whatsoever. Even on negative days, there are no outflows. There's only inflows. He knows what's going on because he studied the charts, and he knows that Bitcoin is going to go a lot higher, especially if you control the supply. You know, if you can manipulate the market, then you know, there's no guessing whatsoever. And it seems like that's what he's trying to do. BlackRock has like almost double the amount of MicroStrategy. That's how much they hold now. Anyways, as for the charts, you look at what we're going through right now, this sideways movement, right? Again, there have been some points in previous cycles where, you know, this has happened. You know, 2013 coming up, we saw a sideways movement. 2017, yes, we saw it, but not as long as now, right? 2020, very little. Now we're seeing a bigger sideways movement, right? So even though history doesn't repeat, it tends to rhyme. It always tends to rhyme due to human behaviors or human greed or whatever, right? So we're seeing that. We're seeing that. But this cycle, again, you got to keep in mind, this cycle, we move faster than any previous cycle. That's why our sideways movement is longer than any previous cycle, because we were ahead of the game already. All these other charts are showing when Bitcoin gets back to its previous high, they came way later, months later after the halving event, but not this time. This time we broke it before the halving event. That's why our sideways movement is a little bit longer, but we will break through. And once we break through, it'll be like just like all the other cycles where we go up an exponential amount, and this time around, probably around $200,000 to $300,000, right? Here's another one that's showing the same thing, right? We go through these phases. You could draw these circles, Fibonacci circles or whatever you call them, right? But we're moving according to plan. According to plan. If you notice, okay, the cycle tops that this has predicted is a little bit off. Because according to this, the last cycle, we should have only hit 59,000. But guess what? We didn't. We broke through to 64 and then 69,000. And then if you look at this, the cycle before, it says we should only top out at 14K. But no, we topped out at 19.5K, right? So if anything, this estimates a little bit conservatively. So if this is saying that we should hit 210,000, that means we could be heading to 250,000 or even 240,000, something like that. But this is plotting our way to $1 million plus, and that is coming within, according to this, in 6 years. Or 7 years. 7 years will be 1.5. But in 6 years, we will be at $1 million Bitcoin. I don't know if you can even fathom. I can't even fathom the day when, if I ever stream again at that point, that I bring up the chart and it shows Bitcoin in 7 figures, $1 million. And then I'll be saying, I told you so. I can't even imagine, right? Like I talk about big figures. I talk about 6 figures, 200,000. I fully, wholeheartedly believe can happen next year. But I can't imagine Bitcoin at $1 million each. But if you think about it, if we hit 250,000 next year, then it's just a 4x from there. Of course it can happen, but I can't compute it at this point. I can't measure the scale of that greatness yet. But soon, I guess. It's coming in 6 years. All right, what else was happening? Tron minting $1 billion, or I should say Tether minting $1 billion of USDT on Tron. And I've covered Tron minting recently, and there's a lot of it. $1 billion here, $1 billion here, $1 billion here, $1 billion everywhere. Okay? And of course, this is a major signal for a massive move, because where's all the billions coming from? Well, it's definitely from the institutions of whales that are trying to get into the market right now, getting ready to buy, right? So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty darn amazing that we have so much. And if you're looking at like the supply, right? Supply of USDT, it's just been going up and up and up and up and up and up. We have over $100 billion worth of USDT out there waiting to buy, right? And that number keeps on going higher. So once the FOMO hits, it's going to hit hard. Retail investors are going to be buying up all your favorite alts and memes, and institutional investors will continue to load up on Bitcoin and ETH and several others like Sol and others, right? It's going to be absolutely amazing next year. And even, let's forget next year, even the end of this year. We're nearing September timeframe. We're getting close to it. I have a feeling September is going to be absolutely fantastic. October, November will be even better. And we will end this year in the 6-digit territory, over $100,000. So you don't even have to wait next year. The final 3 months of this year, I believe, are going to be insane. Insane. And here, another example, 85 million of USDT transferred to Bitfinex. Why do you think it's being transferred to Bitfinex? Because someone is getting ready to load up. Lastly, it seems like one of the or two of the Solana ETFs in play has been denied. But Van Eyck, they're saying, nah, you know what? We're still working with the SEC. We're going to get this done. So maybe it's not going to be as quick as the ETH ETF that was approved almost instantly. Maybe it's going to take some time until next year. But eventually, we're going to get this. So just have to wait a little bit. All right. And we're ticking higher. We're ticking higher. The George effect is kicking in 60,900, which is not too bad. Let's see. The U.S. market, did we turn green today? NASDAQ did. Coinbase is up. MicroStrategy just got done talking about them. Up 3% today. That's looking good. MicroStrategy almost at 140 now. They were at, they did a 10-for-1 split. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right, good morning all. Let me see what I missed. Justin says, Justin Polkrand says, George, you've been saying the same thing for 2 years now and it still hasn't come to pass. Are you sure about that? 2 years ago, we were below $20,000 and now we're at 60,000 plus. So you sure about that? Or you're just miserable? Yes, I banned Dave yesterday, but that Dave is not this Dave, David Guyton. Let's see. Free speech is asking, are you bullish for Say and Beam? More on Beam than Say at this point. Let's see. Am I celebrating tonight with some Johnny Walker? Well, let's see where Bitcoin heads to. If tonight Bitcoin can pump up to 63.7, I'd say it's, good reason to celebrate. We're pretty close. We've been above 63.7 for a while. So for us to get back up there and then trend in this area for a little bit, that would be great. Classic Trading is asking, is Cardano dead this cycle? No. But it's probably going to lag compared to others, but it's not dead. And how's Avalanche? Well, I just talked about Avalanche last night. Papa Bear Studio, so sick of tickling hamsters. When is the airdrop? Are you talking about hamster combat? I hope so. I don't know what else you're referring to, and I have no idea. You think we'll see an altcoin rally before 2025 run? I mean, there's always mini rallies, mini altcoin seasons. Yes, and the answer is yes. Randy, I did see Elon's last tweet yesterday about Doge, and then I checked Doge. It did not pump it at all. So Elon has lost his pump power on Doge at this point. Barry is trying to shill from the WeX department, WeX exchange. I already had someone talk to me about it. Andrew, ever wonder, and by the way, in case you guys are looking for new exchanges and so many have implemented KYC, I'm now partnered up with Blowfin and JumpX, who used to be Fairdesk, and of course BitUnix. And they're all still non-KYC. They're foreign exchanges, so they're not fiat, but they are non-KYC, and you don't have to use a VPN or anything, and you can trade all day long for now. Rock Lobster says, been watching since February 21. Went all in on Bitcoin last summer at 27K. Congrats. Converted entire 401K. So far, so good. Any guess at peak cycle value next year? Rock Lobster, if you've been watching, you know I've been talking about 200, 250,000 for a long time. So that's my guess. But congrats. Congrats. It's one of those things, like, eventually everyone will learn that what's the point of investing in anything else besides Bitcoin, right? Like even with my own mom, she, for so many years, she always stood on the sidelines. She listened to me, didn't believe. Finally, within the last year or two, she started putting money into Bitcoin, and she started putting a lot of her money into Bitcoin, all her like extra money, and she sold houses and stuff. She had extra. She always wanted to put that money into other houses and stuff. I'm like, the fastest horse in the race is Bitcoin. There is none faster. Just put it into Bitcoin and see what happens. Wait until the end of 2025. You don't believe me. Then you could sell and you could buy as many houses as you want, right? And finally, she listened, and her portfolio is insane right now compared to before, right? And after 2025, I think it's gonna be even more insane. Funmaster B, Caspa appears to be the real deal, but I don't hear her talking about it. I don't think it's the real deal. You tell me why it's the real deal. I hear nothing but bad things about Caspa, to be honest. Okay, you can't find their Genesis block. So I guess originally all their earlier blocks was moved to some archive nodes, and you can't find them. You can't see them, and Caspa just ignores it. So it's like you can't see the insiders, how much they hold. You can't see how much the team holds. You can't see any of the shenanigans they may have done because you can't verify it. You could go all the way to Genesis block on every single chain out there. But I hear you can't do that with Caspa because it's hidden. Dan says Doge will pump hard when Elon gets his license in all 50 states for X banking. But that has nothing to do with Doge. Eventually, he's going to make X into a payment network, which is great. But I don't know if that has anything to do with crypto. Hopefully, if he builds in a crypto wallet and he allows, fiat on-ramp and off-ramp for Doge and for Bitcoin and ETH and whatever, that would be absolutely awesome. That would be super, super bullish. Andrew asks, ever wonder what effect all the locked Solana and dormant memes is doing to the circulation supply of Sol? More memes the better. Yes. Yes, exactly. Oh, wow. MicroStrategy up 4% today. The guy's done the math. Can you do a crypto cruise in a quarter-mile run? No. No, I cannot. And everyone in here that's trying to shill Pearl, please stop. Or Peer. That's luckily you have some channel activity. I looked. Luckily you've been a watcher for a while. Otherwise you would have been banned for all that shilling. What's up today? Let's see. Today, Bitcoin is still up. Sol's up a little slow for whatever reason. Could be because of ETF denial. But Ethereum is also very slow. Not sure why. You have BNB, that's the biggest gainer in top 10. No, it's Tron. I still don't believe in Tron. I don't think I ever will, so it doesn't matter. Doge is up 5%. Avalanche is up 8%. Cardano 4%. Or some other big movers. Pepe up 10%. Polygon up 8%. These are good. FET is having a good day, 12%. That's not bad. They're still sitting at number 34. Stacks is having a good day, 8%. BitTensor. Aave up 17%. No idea why. WIF is up 16%, 17%. Good for them. Floki's also up double digits. BitTorrent. See, anything that relates to Tron, you should stay away from. Beam is up 10%. Binary X. I have no idea who that is. That's probably an exchange. Tether Gold is up here now. Anyways, today is a pretty good day. Today's a pretty good day. Adam says, I like to help you with your thumbnail game if you're looking to improve it. It's too hard because I create it right before the stream. I don't spend hours upon hours like others do. I just do what's good enough, and that's it. JC says, George, it's too late to get rich from Bitcoin. What other cryptos would you recommend to have life-changing wealth? Sol is another one. BNB is another one. But why do you think it's too late to get rich from Bitcoin? I mean, if you're telling me you have $1,000, yes, you're not going to make $1 million from $1,000 of Bitcoin right now. In maybe like 10, 20 years, you could. But when something is guaranteed to go up at least 4x now to over 200,000, and for it to go up 10x in the next 8 years and go even higher by 2030, which is only 6 years, you could definitely still get rich from Bitcoin. There's no reason why 50,000 to 1.5 million or 60,000 to 1.5 million. I mean, that's a lot of X's, right? That's like 20x. It's 25x. You can certainly get rich, and that's only within 10 years. It's never too late. Now, if we're at 1 million Bitcoin, then I could say, yeah, you're not going to get rich from Bitcoin anymore. But, you know, even then, we could go from 1 million to 10 million to 20 million Bitcoin in the next 20 years. Fundmaster, just because there's an explanation doesn't mean that you can't actually see it, though. Trust me, I had this conversation with the second biggest Kaspa miner and holder before. He was the biggest advocate of Kaspa until the community shunned him and then basically banned him, and he decided to dump it all. And this was the most basic fundamental thing he has asked, and they can't show it to him because somehow it's all living on archive nodes that they refuse to turn up for people to see. We're talking about the second biggest Kaspa holder asking this question, and they refuse to answer it. After that, he dumped it all. JC says, I was just looking for a shorter track. Well, that's why so many people are addicted to memes. Hey, memes could make people a ton of money really quickly, but they also can wreck people really quickly. There are so many memes out there, right? You just don't know sometimes. And this is not the right time to be loading up on memes anyways. So it's the right time to be loading up on the good ones, like Bitcoin and the big caps, like Sol, Toncoin, you know, even like Avalanche. These are all ones I've talked about a lot. I don't talk a lot about BNB, but they are up there. They're very solid. Near Protocol, FAT, these are like an AI plays. You know, there are a lot. As the market gets better, I'll start covering them more. But right now, I got to stay with the basics. Stay with the blue chips. George, did you get the Litecoin Cash airdrop? I don't know why you're asking about that. That was like so long ago. It was like 20, I don't know, like 20, maybe it's 2020, 2021. I did, but I never did anything with it. It wasn't an airdrop. It was like you had to like, or maybe it was. I forgot. Anyways. Jake Lyon asks, have you heard of WDog, the first decentralized meme coin? No, I haven't. And second, no, I'm not going to look it up. And third, does anyone give a F whether that meme coin is decentralized? Doesn't mean it can't be rugged. Doesn't mean that it wasn't sniped. I mean, there's so many things that could go wrong with a meme. Doesn't mean that, you know, the liquidity pool can't be like pulled. I mean, yes, there are good meme coins out there. I'm not saying all meme coins are bad, but meme coins are all about community. It's all about community, right? Whether you could build a community and that's it. That's what it comes down to. No one's going to care about the first decentralized meme coin. First of all, that's just a stupid claim. I'm assuming that you're the founder or one of the early inside guys. I'm sorry if I had to, you know, come down on you so hard, but, you know, that's just not a good pitch. Hey George, do you think the metaverse narrative will pick up again this market cycle? That's a good question. I don't know. Metaverses are really, really not doing well. It's not just them. It's mostly because gaming narrative is not doing well. You know, you look at someone like Sandbox. I mean, they peaked at what, $7? They're nowhere close to their 2021. I mean, you can see it has not moved. It's just flat. They have not gotten any traction whatsoever. Another one I covered, Somnia. Is it? I forgot what Somnia is. Is this Somnium? No. I thought I'd cover another one called Somnia, but I mean, was it Decentraland? Decentraland is the same thing. It's just pretty much, you know, it's nowhere close. Nowhere close. So if the gaming narrative picks up again, then I would say, yeah, these metaverses will pick up. But like 2021, somehow, because of Facebook and because of Google, you know, metaverses or AR got really hot. These pumped, but now I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna come back. Andrew asked about Gala. It's kind of the same thing. You know, Gala is not a metaverse, but it's a gaming platform. And not only did they shoot themselves in the foot, but also the gaming narrative is just not good right now. So, again, we have to see if the gaming narrative comes back. I think so. I think during altcoin season, everything pumps, right? Games could get really hot again. But right now, it's just like no one really cares about Web3 gaming. Do you have any work for an animator, graphic designer? Just recently decided to start my own contractor business. I also fly drones through properties. Well, good for you. No, I don't have a need unless I bring back SBF Adventures maybe. But animator, graphic designer, I don't have any need at this point. But good for you though. Good for you. All right, guys. To conclude, we got a lot of signs, we got a lot of signals that a major move is coming. We're sitting above 60,000, slowly ticking up. Global liquidity is coming, and a lot of buying from the institutions, including BlackRock. So, stay strong, my friends. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.